Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or you're just happy to see me?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are back talking the sequel, the direct sequel to 1979's Mad Max. And depending on where you are in the world, it's either Mad Max 2 or Mad Max Road Warrior, Mad Max 2 Road Warrior. And the reason why it was given the subtitle The Road Warrior in the West, particularly in the States, is because the first movie had such a limited release that if they were to release it under its actual title, Mad Max 2, people would be like, "There's a first one."
Yeah.
So they gave it like Mad Max. They gave it the subtitle Road Warrior.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why. But for all intents and purposes, basically, it is the direct sequel. It is Mad Max 2. So Road Warrior does fit the title, Trey. I do agree with you there. Does fit. I'm just saying that's the reason why it was given that title, is because of how limited the release was for the first film. But this movie, if you cannot tell, had a bigger budget, roughly 10 times that of the original movie's budget. So the original movie had roughly a budget of $350,000. It was made literally breaking the law most of the times because they'd have to do guerrilla filmmaking because they were closing roads that should not have been closed. This one, studios actually stepped in and basically gave it about 10 times the budget of the first one. So about $3.5 million, give or take. And one of the ways Miller gamed the studio to get those aerial shots is he wrote in the gyro captain character and said, "Hey, you're gonna have to kind of pay this because we need the aerial shots to show from his perspective." So he got the studio to pay for that because of that.
Nice.
But anyway, so before I say hello to the chats, Orange Chat, let everybody know where they can find you, all that fun stuff, and basically of the two, which one do you prefer?
All right. Well, out of the two that I prefer, honestly, it's tough to call. It's that close for me. It's actually tough to call. They both are good and well-toned stories.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of leaning towards the first one a little bit. As for where you can find me, though, folks, you can find me on her channel twice a month. My own channel, where I do theme streams. I just got done doing slasher horror thoughts on that. Next month or next week is paranormal horror, where it's going to be like The Conjuring and all, or Poltergeist and all those other ones. Tomorrow night, exclusively on X at 8:30, Evil is on Board, Last Voyage of the Demeter, with me and Mara. Friday is Orange Hat Uncensored. Sunday is me and Ambassadorial Wing. We're going to be doing the weekly recap. Kate is going to have another endeavor. And Monday is Monday Night Rants at 9 p.m., where me and others, if they wish to join, it's an open invite. We get to bitch and rant about anything. Most likely it's going to be about what just happened before we all went live. So, yeah. Some shit going on. But, yeah, that's where you can find me. And Tuesdays at 1:30 in the afternoon for theme streams, and 9 p.m. at night on Society Reviews channel to talk about Barroom Podcast, or to do the Barroom Podcast. Yeah.
Okay, so for me, of the two, despite my personal nitpick when it comes to what happens to animals on screen, pretty much, despite that, I have to give the edge actually to the second one, because I'm kind of like my dad in a way, where I love very dystopian, very post-apocalyptic films, and this one really embraced the post-apocalyptic feel. You get that sense mainly from the narrator at the beginning and the end of the movie, where it's kind of explained to the audience a little bit that between the events of the first movie and the second movie, there was an actual World War III. So there was an actual kind of apocalyptic event that happened, which is why, this is filmed in Australia, which is why Australia is the way it is, despite the fact that it originally was a penal colony. and it's no shocker there. But like the reason why, like, you know, like there's chaos, there's the anarchy, there's mayhem. There's actually like the even though the gang itself is not named in this movie, if you find the script, they're called the Marauders. So like basically why the Marauders kind of are running rampant. Why you have like these like little enclaves forming of like, you know, basically you have like on one side you have the Marauders who are embracing the chaos, following what happened, and then those like in the enclave that Max encounters who are trying to restore, kind of keep some semblance of civilization. So you have like those two groups, and like I appreciate that because it like shows like, you know, like the paths people can take following certain events. Where Max basically he's a loner at this point. He's by himself, and he does what he needs to do. He goes about his way, and he kind of finds himself in the situation with the people trying to protect themselves from these marauders. But anyway,
he wants to be sociopathic. I mean, he tries to be sociopathic, but he really can't be sociopathic.
No, like he's trying to be apathetic.
Yeah, that
I would say is probably a better word. He's trying to be apathetic, but deep down he cannot. Deep down, no matter how much he tries, there is still that Max within him, the cop from the first movie that wanted to do good, basically, like despite what was going on. Like no matter how hard he tries, and that's why ultimately he, like, you know, even though he comes across as someone like, hey, I just want the gasoline. I'm just doing this for the gasoline. Deep down, he's doing it because he wants to help these people. So, but anyways, I'm gonna say hello to the chat, and then we'll get into talking about Mad Max 2 and certain little bits of trivia for the movie as well as the characters. Trey's ready for the lit discussion. Yeah. I said I give this one the edge because of, like, you know, it fully embraces the dystopian society angle, the post-apocalyptic. Okay.
I mean, the reason why I edge the reason why, folks, I edge a little bit towards the first one is not only because it's more contained, smaller budget and whatnot, but also because it's failing society. It's the edge of failing society, so to speak. Where the second one is basically
society
apocalyptic, failed and whatnot. I actually find the rarity that is failing society to be a little bit more of a draw. I mean, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is a good one, or the Caesar trilogy is a good example of that, where they show you the failure of society or due to the virus and whatnot. But yeah, that it kind of gives off that vibe, and I've always had an interest in how society is decaying and how people are actually trying to save it.
I can see that. I can see that. And we're definitely going to talk about it, especially because we have a new villain in this movie, and we'll talk about basically comparing him to Lord Humongous, comparing him to Toe Cutter in the first movie.
Aussie Jason.
Yeah, pretty
as I call him.
A bit more articulate, like kind of an Aussie Jason. Like looking at his
look at the fucking mask,
but the mask he chooses to wear,
and the freaking stringy hair.
Actually, there's I read a little bit of trivia that originally, I'm not sure like if it was written into the script or not, but originally it was kind of planned for that to be Goose. That Goose survived, and ultimately that's where he ended up, pretty much. So it's kind of was the original plan. God damn it! I got to take my dog out.
All right, I'll keep him busy.
Back to say hello, to the chat. Sorry, she has to go out, so I'll be right back.
All right, all you salty fuckers, what are y'all up to? Yes, Book of Eli, failed society, dead society, trying to restart society. It's a very good, or I've seen a little bit of that movie, the beginning, a couple of scenes, especially the one like, touch me again, you won't get your hand back and whatnot. Thought that was pretty interesting. And hello to Psychotic Mongoose, Trey Courtney, Soul Assassin, Jaloop, Gravy D, Demonic Rebellion, and many, many others. Y'all are freaking awesome, folks. Citizen Ronan, good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. Retro Collective, also good to see you guys. By the way, if you haven't followed me yet, at Orange Hat 2185 or Orange Hat Revived on X. Orange, or the A in orange, is missing in that one, so it's Orange Hat Revived. But if you want to catch our stream, Last Voyage of the Demeter, follow Orange Hat 2185, because that's where it'll go, and it happens at 8:30. We're going to go live to talk about it. I won't do it on YouTube because YouTube is fucking asshole at this point. So I do apologize, folks. But yeah, that's basically what's going on. You can't really, or they don't allow the live to go live until the time that it goes live. So they won't give you a reminder or anything. You got to be following the channel and just go to my profile, refresh at 8:30. It should go, or it should be going. That's basically how it is. And but yeah, I can actually show the movie or more of the movie over on X than I can on YouTube. YouTube, they actually created rules to destroy my channel, or to destroy that stream of Demolition Man. So, yeah. Because I think we pissed off the people who didn't want people to know certain things about Demolition Man. That's why they basically nixed it. But also, if you're interested, or if you guys have Instagram, follow me over on Instagram. It's the same. It's this this thing here, this icon. Because I don't do movie shit. I do real remixes and funny shit over there. So I have a sense of humor.
All right, sorry about that. When nature calls, I have to take for my dog, I have to take her out. Yes, Mad Mar, Hatmungus, and Chad. It's a Mad Max world, pretty much.
Yeah.
Conroy, what is up? Michael says the chase scene was a lot better than Fury Road. Yes, I would agree with that. A lot better than Fury Road. Stieg said this, and I agree with him. It basically felt like just like a video game cutscene. And it's kind of like basically that's like about as deep as it was when it came to the chase. Where this one here, you're it's tension.
It was a great chase in this movie because, I mean, it's a chase that has a twist, you know? But then it also has this humongous guy, or fucking Aussie Jason. Yeah, Lord Humongous, Aussie Jason. I'll just call him Aussie Jason. I like Aussie Jason better. Because that fucking Lord Humongous just sounds weird. But, what the fuck did he kamikaze himself for at the end of this movie?
I mean, like that's the level where it's like he's high functioning enough that he's articulate, but there's a level of insanity there that like he was in desperation. I don't know what he was thinking. I maybe he thought like playing chicken would cause him to swerve the tanker off the road, but at the same time I'm like, no, you're going against a tanker, pretty much. So it's.
I mean, it's like, wait, this dude got ahead of him. Then he just started playing chick. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, it was quite the what the fuck moment, folks.
Yeah.
It was quite the what the fuck moment for me.
When we get to the chase scene, there's a bit of trivia to one of the stunts that's actually kind of interesting.
So out of the characters of this movie, besides Max, who is your favorite?
Besides Max, who is my favorite?
And by the way, if you don't say Bruce Spence, you're wrong.
I was going to say it's a tie between the Gyro Captain and actually, as much of a mad dog as he is, Wes, because I just find those types of characters fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like he took that character and ran with it. Like I'm supposed to be insane? Okay. Like I'll show you insane sort of situation.
He was the dude with the mohawk, yeah?
Yes, that's Wes.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I mean,
Bruce the Gyro Captain I liked.
That dude is just. I heard, or before I even ever saw the Road Warrior, folks, there's the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King audio commentary in which Peter Jackson was talking about Bruce Spence. He's like, I saw Bruce Spence in the Road Warrior, and I just realized I needed to have him for this movie. It's like, because he was the gyro captain or the gyrocopter pilot, and it's like, probably should watch that movie. I mean, just because the character was so great to Peter Jackson, I might want to give the movie a watch. Never gave the movie a watch until a couple days ago. But that was the first I heard of him, and I'm like, now I can see why Peter Jackson really liked him.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He was fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, he was nuts, and the dog in the scenes, like the dog is obviously acting aggressive towards him, but the dog itself actually took a liking to Bruce Spence.
Yeah.
To the point where like Bruce Spence would actually play with the dog, but he would get the dog to try to grab his scarf. So in doing that, it would make it look like the dog was acting aggressively towards him, and then they basically add the growls in, like audio, like later on to sound like the dog was being aggressive.
Yeah.
But the dog actually liked Bruce Spence, so it's like they're actually playing in that scene where Bruce Spence is keeping the snake away from him, and it's like, oh, my snake,
that's my fucking snake.
So
my fucking snake. It was my pet.
So they're actually playing in that scene.
Yeah. I love that too. It's just, oh my, folks, this movie was fun. It was very fun. I liked it. But that one scene when Max, I know we're kind of getting out of order here, but when Max crashes and he just gets his fucking fuel and drives off, and they fucking go after him. And when he's getting flown back by the gyro captain, and it's like slow-mo and double vision and slow-mo speak, it's like, it's like, what the fuck? Am I tripping? It was just fucking.
No, I appreciate that, because it's kind of like the mind of Max at that point. He's disoriented, and he's so he's hearing things in slow motion, and he's seeing everything double at that point. Yeah,
looking at Bruce Spence looking down at you, just shit. It's like, boy, that does sort of sober you up, or it makes you be thinking you're tripping on acid. But it was
hello, yeah, one of the best movie endings ever. Agreed. Yeah. I agreed. It very much like the ending.
Something with eating dog food. This movie.
Thank you for dropping the links, by the way, chats.
Yeah.
Psychotic Mongoose, hello. Good to see you. Retro Collective, hello. Jimmy the Cast, what is up?
Mike Hill with his super chat. Holy crap, dude.
I'll answer that.
I do. I can. By the way, folks, if you don't know this about Mel Gibson, you're about to learn it. Mel Gibson has a certain level of psychopathy. Because you kind of have to get into the mind of the characters he plays. This dude takes vengeance to a whole new level in every single freaking role he does. Hamlet, Road Warrior, Lethal Weapon. The dude plays Psycho
Rebellion
with ease. And when it comes to things like eating dog food, that's kind of psychotic behavior. So he's all cool with it. I mean, you got to kind of be nuts to be Mel Gibson, and he plays it so fucking well, especially in Fat Man. That was also another good movie.
Yes. I recently showed that as like a watch party on my Discord, and I'm not trying to throw Calman under the bus, but he wasn't paying attention to the description when I had it highlighted before I started the movie, and he's like, "Wait a minute, is he Santa Claus?" I'm like, "God damn it, yes."
Oh my god!
It's like he kind of missed the whole fucking highlighted description before I started the movie.
Holy shit! It's like, wait, he's fucking Santa, dude. Where the fuck were you?
Trey's like he realized an hour in.
The movie. Holy shit! When was this?
It was a little while ago. It was like,
oh my god. I'm missing those parties. I'm sorry I missed those parties, but man, I really gotta get those parties sometime. Those watch parties. Sometimes we missed the point. Yeah.
Let me get Road Warrior started up, and I forgot to have it on the screen, so I'm going to get it going.
Wait, we did Violent Night last December? Yeah.
Yes.
We'll do Fat Man.
I think would have shown it around that time because.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? I'll show, because I was like, you know what? I'll do a watch party with Krampus, and then I was like, you know what? I'll just, do that. I showed Fat Man, so.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. So yeah, like I said, the reason why this got the subtitle, the Road Warrior, the title Road Warrior, is because the first movie had such a limited release in the States, in particular. That like when the movie distributors, basically that system, like was releasing this movie, they're like, oh crap, we can't release it under this title because most people have not seen the first one. Most people don't even fucking realize there was a first one. So they gave it the subtitle Road Warrior, which ultimately it works, but the actual title for the movie is Mad Max 2. So, but this is where basically it picks up a few years after the events of the first film. There's been a World War III event that occurred, which like basically threw the world into like an entirely apocalyptic scenario. According to the trivia I read, while there's no clear date given, George Miller like said that basically the events of the first movie and the second movie are kind of like mid to late 90s time frame, not too fucking far off, given like
so it's
where
like 10 years.
Yeah, like where we've well, when at least where we find ourselves now, pretty much. But basically, he said it's like mid to late 90s, like that these events are taking place. Yeah, Max is now a legend at this point. So the Road Warrior.
So, yeah, if the Road Warrior takes place in the 90s and Max Fury Road has Max still at that around that age, does that mean that Fury Road takes place in like the 2000s?
It would have to, basically, because basically, while the theory is that the Max character in Fury Road is the feral kid growing up, which doesn't make any sense given like where the narration ends with this first movie.
Yeah.
It makes no sense that like that was a theory that was going around. A series of comics, Mad Max comics, made it clear that no, the Tom Hardy version of Mad Max or Max is the Mel Gibson version of Max.
Yeah.
So it's not. So it's not that Thunderdome is 15 years after Road Warrior. I'm saying like the timeline wise, Fury Road does not make sense if that's the Max character. It doesn't make sense.
So then Thunderdome is 15. So that would be like around 2010-ish. Mm-hmm. So Fury Road would be like, well, around the time that it actually takes place.
So. But, so. Easier to say Fury Road doesn't exist. Yes, I agree. Abomination. Just easier to say it doesn't exist.
You're right. Doesn't exist.
But anyway, like this is like, so like this movie basically is, like I said, like this is a problem I have with Fury Road, which is why, like people who kind of defend Max's character in that movie, I'm like, doesn't make any sense, and that is. Fury Road did not feel like a Mad Max movie. Max was pushed to the side. It's obviously a Furiosa film. It's obviously she's the focus. Like you look at the poster, like I said, you point. I pointed to the poster. You look at the poster. Who's the one facing the audience in the poster? Furiosa is. Like she's the one that stands out to the general movie-going audience, whereas Max is facing, like directly ahead.
Let's talk about this one. This one's
facing. Fun. Yeah. So. I was like saying, and I said like it felt like Max just happened to be there in that situation. And someone came back to me on Twitter a while ago, and said well, that's kind of like how Max is. Like he's basically just like he's like situations happen around him. I'm like, yeah, that's true, but he's not pushed to the side. It's still a film where he's central to the plot of the film. Right, he just finds himself in that circumstance. Right, it'd be like basically filming this is like Mad Max 2, but having the feral kid be the like focus, which is like what Fury Road was. It doesn't make any sense. But like, this is what like yes, he does find himself in scenarios where it's like he's kind of put in this position where he's like not outright looking to help these people. He just does, but at the same time, it's like I don't feel like it's any other character is taking away from Max. That's the problem I have with Fury Road. So. But anyway, Road Warrior, and like the premise is basically it takes place a few years after the events of the first movie, and Max is basically a loner. He's on the road. He has a dog now, just called Dog. And by the way, let me just like see if I can get a shot of. Oh yeah, like the narration basically. There's a narrator at the beginning of the film and the end of the film, pretty much. Where he's called the Road Warrior. So. Oh. I'm gonna get here because this is where we see like the gyro. Oh, by the way, that's a 1981 supermodel there on the gyrocopter. So
nice.
But anyway, the dog in this movie, all right, that's just called Dog, was actually a day away from being euthanized in the shelter because it was a sheltered dog. The crew needed wanted to find a dog that would be a companion to Max. It looks like it would like basically fit as a companion to Max, and a dog that could be potentially trained. They went to this shelter and adopted, basically ostensibly adopted this dog for the movie because they saw it playing with a rock and felt that like the dog could be trained to do certain things in the film, which we saw. Yes, it's true. The dog could be trained to do certain things. However, it did not like loud noises because whenever explosions would occur or loud noises would occur, it was like, cause anxiety to the point where one scene he actually relieved himself in the car. So they had to create special earplugs for the dog for certain scenes, so that way it didn't get anxious. All right. So basically, the dog was saved from the shelter for this movie, and then officially adopted by one of the cameramen once the film was finished. So a little bit of trivia about the dog. Pretty much, I'm not a fan of what happens to the dog in the movie. But at the same, I know it's not real. But at the same time, like that's how they picked the dog. It wasn't like one of those studio dogs that's already been trained. They actually went to a shelter and adopted this dog, saved it. Actually, saved its life, pretty much. So, and now we're like, since I don't think we need to talk necessarily about like Max. As Max is pretty much, like I said, he's a loner at this point. He tries to be apathetic, but deep down, he's still the same Max to a degree from the first movie. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went from death row to film icon, pretty much. Yeah. So he was a day away from being euthanized in the shelter when the crew went in and ostensibly saved him. Anyway, let me see if we get a shot of the gyro captain. It's like certain characters have names in this movie, and then other characters just have like gyrocopter captain, warrior woman, feral kid. So he comes across the gyrocopter. There's like the pilot leaves traps with snakes in it. Basically, it's like the snakes bite the person dies, and the pilot basically just steals stuff off the person. Well, he picked the wrong person to try to do that to. So let's talk Bruce Spence. So he's kind of like the comedic relief to an extent in this film. He's like the one where there's like a little bit of levity, especially with his dialogue and especially when he's interacting with Max.
Yeah.
He kind of becomes a sidekick. He refers to himself as kind of as a partner when Max is going to abandon him again. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like he kind of does become a sidekick in a way to Max, despite their initial introduction to each other.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of the gyrocopter pilots?
Well, I already said he's my favorite character aside from Max in the movie. But yeah, this dude is just so fucking wily. He's so, I mean, it's almost like he's hot. He's constantly high.
Yeah.
But he's also constantly, I mean, it's a sugar high, not a GHB high.
Mm-hmm.
Or not the THC, the stuff that you get high from cannabis with. Yeah. It's not that kind of high. It's like a sugar high. This dude is hopped up on speed, just without the mind or without the brain damaging effects. And I absolutely love it. It's like Bruce Spence can play nuts, and he can do it so freaking well.
I think, let's bring up the trivia. I think he actually had just gotten out of the hospital right before he started filming.
Was it a mental hospital?
No, not quite. Let me see if I can.
And yeah, he was one of the Ace Ventura Ace Ventura 2 guys. One of the villains there.
It just says he was unwell during production. He had just come out of the hospital and struggled to come out of the ground when filming his first scene.
Oh my god!
So, yeah, so he was unwell during production of this
What a
movie.
troop!
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like the woman in the first Mad Max movie who basically she like fractured her like hip or something like that, and like had like leg had to be put in like put a cast on. She came back to film her scenes.
Yeah.
I'm like Australian actors are like a whole new level of dedication that like you just don't see with American actors, especially now. Pretty much. And like I said, I love like his character because he adds enough levity to the movie without it being annoying, without it being like okay, like you're just being cringe with the forced humor at this point. It comes across as natural to the character, like he's the antithesis in a way to Max, but they mesh well together in terms of like their personalities. And I love how like Max basically holds him like he has a crossbow and Max has like a sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah.
He bluffs. He has like I love how he knows he has no ammunition, but he's able to bluff and basically imprison this man, essentially, for a while. Like the most of the like beginning of this film is like just these two, like Max and then like this character, and then they happen to come across the Enclave, and I love Bruce Spence's reaction when he realizes that Max never had any ammo in the gun. Like he he's like it's not really relief when he like realizes that. It's more like you lied. That's low. Like that's what he's admonishing him for.
Bugger. It's like you bugger.
That's what he's admonishing him for. He's not. He's like, I would expect him to be like, in a way relieved. He's like, oh, that's low. He's like, you lied. Yeah, like he felt like, well, like he did get duped, but at the same time, it's like gosh, it's like instead of it being like an shit reaction, I got duped. Like he's admonishing him almost for doing it. But anyway, so Max basically overpowers. See if I can find a shot of like the Marauders. It's basically the Marauders. Well, this is like as good as I can do, like a full shots, basically. But like I said, Max and the gyrocopter pilot come across this Enclave, and they see these not vigilantes, this gang. All right, basically harassing the people in this Enclave. And to the point where also Max witnesses what they do to some of these people the next morning who try to get past the Marauders to prove that there's a way to get around them, essentially.
Yeah.
So, well, they're called they're raiders, but like I said, like while they're not explicitly called this, the gang is actually called the Marauders in the script. You don't hear their name in the movie. But in the script, that's what their name is. They call themselves the Marauders. So basically, that's what I'm calling them when I talk about this group. Before we find out who's leading this gang, and so forth, basically. But they're trying to raid this Enclave, and it goes back to the first movie in a way. It goes back to the first movie, and that's gasoline. Which ties into the first movie with the shortage of gasoline and how it impacted society.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get a shot. Because they said, Max comes across, like, basically some of the Marauders killing people who try to leave the Enclave. Max tries to help one of the people that survived, but ultimately succumbs to his wounds when Max gets them into the compound.
I had a bargain with him.
Yeah. So, like I said, so they let Max into the compound, but they make him disarm because they don't trust him. Obviously, they think he's one of the Marauders. Even despite the fact that he's bringing one of their wounded back into the compounds. trying to save him, and he's trying to tell the leader there, Papagallo, like, I have a bargain with this man. Basically, I bring him back to this compound. He's like, I get some gas. Like, I'm just here for the gasoline. Yeah, kind of on steroids. Yeah. So let's talk, like, basically, without going into detail about all the people in the compounds, what do you think of like the certain characters we're introduced to? Because we're introduced to Papagallo. He's the leader of this group. We're introduced to the feral kid. Obviously, we're introduced to Warrior Woman. That's how she's listed. That's how she's cast. That's her title. So I'm not just saying that. Like, you look up the movie, she's listed as Warrior Woman. The captain, the captain's daughter, and so forth. And they each have their different roles, pretty much. One's a mechanic, one's like, you know, they like basic doctors and so forth. So they have like respective roles. All right. So what do you think of like basically this little society that's kind of formed within this group of people?
I think they raided the Star Trek Wrath of Khan wardrobe. But for the most part, they do come across as like a genuine society that has kind of fallen off and are trying to make a better life for themselves, but they are having a hard time going about it. So I do like Warrior Woman. The feral child is kooky, which is in some ways
feral means wild, so kind of makes sense.
Feral wild, yeah. I mean, it's like last time I saw anything like him was an action figure toy of Age of the Apocalypse Sabretooth, where that little wild child dude, and it's like, okay, I kind of get that kind of vibe. But yeah, for the most part, I thought these guys and gals and women and whatnot did a good job. Why does the Warrior Woman look familiar? I could have sworn I may have seen her in another movie.
Virginia Hay. So you'd have to look her up. And Hay, like spelled H-E-Y. So like the word hey, like hey you, hey. Yeah. That's her name.
All right. Definitely looking her up then.
And like I said, like that character, like now that like you like brought her up to the chat, it's a little bit of trivia. Her character was actually originally written to be a male.
Yeah.
Like much like Ripley in the first Alien film, her character was actually originally written to be a male, but they ended up casting Virginia Hay in the role and changed very little of the dialogue. And made it Warrior Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably she's like woke. Yeah. But it's like that kind of speaks volumes to the dialogue written for the character in the first place, with the fact that they could change the character from a male to a female, and it makes no difference. Trey says she was in Living Daylights.
So. Not who I'm thinking of then.
And she was purposely like given a scar. All right, it's like basically when you see her, like she's like you see a scar on her, and like they did that to kind of in a way make her more attractive to Max. In a weird way to make her more attractive to Max. Nothing
makes
comes
sense.
of it. Nothing comes of it, but that's what they did. So they kind of gave her a scar, and like, you know, she's like this warrior woman that Max finds attractive to a degree, but like I said, ultimately nothing comes of it. It's also believable as a warrior woman, yes, and she actually also apologizes. Because she's like, you know, it's like, you know, God forbid a woman apologize nowadays. You know, like admits she was wrong, but she actually like, you know, apologizes to Max at one point, says, "I was wrong about you."
Wait, she does that?
Yeah, she apologizes.
Holy shit, folks.
Yeah.
You don't see that in real life.
But she admits she's wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the leader, Papagallo. What do you think of him, basically? Like, he's basically, like I said, the de facto leader. I don't know if they elected him or not, but he's a leader of this group.
Papagallo, that dude, I gotta say, I liked him because he actually challenges Max. And it's like, holy shit, man. This dude actually gets in Max's face and he's like, what pisses you off, dude? What, did you lose something? We all lost something. What happened, man? And it takes a real special idiot to do something like that to somebody who just saved your fucking asses.
Yeah.
But also, the actor is also familiar, and I've seen him in many things before, and I thought that I think he's actually a good actor too.
And actor's name is Michael Preston. So, but I don't know what you mean, fuck Norris, about what was Humongous' boy girlfriend's name. Humongous didn't really have a boyfriend or girlfriend. Wes was the one with the mohawk.
Oh, yeah, that dude that had the boyfriend.
Actually, according to the actor who played Wes, and the actor who played Wes what's his name? Vernon Wells. All right, according to him. Now, we're going off of his word and a little bit of trivia, I guess, part of the trivia that from George Miller, basically. That's actually not a sexual relationship, basically. The backstory that Vernon Wells created for his character, because George Miller, there's a little bit of trivia for George Miller. Miller told most of the actors to come up with your own backstory for your character. Come up with your own backstory for your character and play the character as is. So if we're going off of that, and we're going off of like what Vernon Wells says, it's actually not a sexual relationship. It's more of a father-son relationship in a weird fucking way. It's more of he's more of a surrogate father to Golden Child. That's what the character's name is, Golden Child. Then they're not lovers.
Well, that's probably why he screams so loudly.
Yes. So basically, that's like his son being killed right in front of him. Yeah. He was also called, and when we get to talking about Humongous's like second in command, Wes, the Mohawk guy, Mel Gibson called him Barometer Bum because it was like, despite what it looks like there, like the environment was actually very cold. It could be very cold at times. I mean, obviously it's a desert. Go fucking figure. It gets cold in certain like times, pretty much. But he called him Barometer Bum because he was like, Wes had kind of these assless chaps on. So the more purple the more purple his ass got, the colder it was.
Oh my god.
So they kind of used his ass to gauge when to tell the crew and cast to get inside.
Yeah.
It was too cold to film.
Hey Trey, look up whether or not he was in GoldenEye. The Michael Preston guy.
So yeah, so basically, so basically, like the other, well, like the woman who lost the one who was wounded, like she has a kind of a prominent position within this community, but she's not really shown much. The only other person that's shown a bit more in terms of the adults is the daughter of the captain. She's shown just like a little bit more than the other woman.
She wants it, or the daughter woman that wants to fly off with the gyro captain, but has a guilt or a change of heart because, well, yeah. All right, so then it's a different actor, but yeah, it's like, or the woman who's like, we should do as they say. It's like, somebody shoot that bitch. I'm sorry, but
I was kind of the same way. Even the first time I watched this, I'm like, yes, let's trust the man whom just within the short period of time killed 8 people of your group. Mm-hmm. We can totally trust that he will not go back on his word if we try to leave the compound. He's totally fucking trustworthy. This man literally has 2 of the, well, they're dead by the time we see them again in the movie, but the 2 men from the Enclave strapped to the front of his fucking vehicle.
Yep.
And he's driving around like that, saying that I'll let you go if you just let me come into the you can leave and I'll just come into the compound and get the gas. He was totally trustworthy. So she's the kind that it's like she has no survival skills whatsoever.
Yeah.
She has no survival skills whatsoever. The other people who dropped their bows and arrows, I think they're just tired of fighting.
Yeah.
It's not so much as they believe Humongous, they're just tired of fighting. But when she said that, I was like, okay, walk your happy ass out of the compound if you trust them. That's what I would told her. If you trust him, leave.
Yep.
See what he does.
I will not have division in this goddamn community.
Yeah.
Not in this sort of climate. Out. Get. Be gone. And, oh, by the way, we're going to need the extra clothes. So, strip.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
that fucking crazy, folks.
I'm saying if you really feel you can trust him, I would have called her bluff. If you really feel you can trust him, leave. I would have called her bluff at that point. But anyway, the feral kid, real fast. Because we're not talking about like scene for scene chat, like, chats for those who are just like tuning in. Feral kid. I remember when I first saw this movie, I thought that was a girl.
Same.
I thought that was a girl. It's a boy.
That has to be a girl. That has to be a boy. Girl. But yeah, it's a boy. But I also love the frickin' boomerang scene because they do the play it backwards kind of thing to have him catch the boomerang.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my god, I could definitely tell that there's some movie magic there, man. But I also love how he just whips that fucker and it's like, damn, dude.
Oh yeah, he was going to talk to Humongous too. Yeah, so I would call his bluff too. Yeah. But
takes off freaking fingers and scalps a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, that guy wasn't a bitch. That was a guy.
Yeah. So like basically like and he gets impaled in the head. The other one gets fingers cut off.
Yeah.
And
he's laughing afterward.
Yeah.
It's like
I think that's the one that's called the Quiet Man. I think that's
so quiet.
No, he wasn't so quiet. I think that's like his character. I think is called the Quiet Man. Quiet Man. I don't know, but anyway, maybe kind of go up to.
Yeah, there's the Quiet Man that lost his fingers, or loses his fingers.
He there's a little bit of trivia
Gunter
for him.
Looks like it could have been.
He's actually kind of like me. He was a stage actor, but hesitated accepting the role as he was concerned about the scene where the rabbit was killed. So he had to be assured that there was no harm that would come to the rabbit in the scene where the rabbit, Wes shoots.
Yeah.
He actually, that's what ultimately made him accept the role, is that he, being assured that no harm would come to
kill that rabbit. I'm not doing a goddamn movie.
Yeah, so he was a stage actor. Originally, he's a stage actor.
All right, now let me do the stage actor wise. If doth thou kill that rabbit,
I'm trying to get a close.
I shall not do thy movie, or I shall not do that movie.
Anyway, trying to get close
Stage actor.
For Humongous. There.
Yes, just walk away. I'm gravely disappointed with you all.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very bad
the one you can totally trust, who is who has your people strapped to the hoods of his vehicles, either dead or dying, can totally be trusted. So this Lord Humongous is, I wouldn't call Wes his right-hand man, Wes, because he refers to Wes as like a dog or puppy. Like he literally looks at Wes like a mad dog.
Yep. My mad dogs are going to come in and kill you all if you do not give us the gas. I love the voice he gives.
Mm-hmm.
It's very it's very interesting.
It was like kind of well, I mean, to an extent, I agree with Trey. Like he's not as psychotic as Toe Cutter, but there is a degree of psychopathy in him.
Absolutely. Obviously. I mean, the man played chicken and lost.
Yes, but he's articulate. He actually reads. He actually quotes a poem in German. So whenever you can't understand what he's saying, he's at least that scene. That's a German poem. That he's quoting. Where is it? So I remember reading the title. Oh, the breed of Max's dog is a blue heeler. So I kind of want to have one. They're so cute.
Would have called it a dingo myself.
Yeah, Australian cattle dog or blue heeler. So I kind of want one because I love dogs like that.
Folks, she's infatuated with Aussie stuff. So, of course, she's going to want a dog like that.
Where is it? God. I gotta like do a humongous.
Mara is secretly in love with Aussies. Well, not secret.
So, the pistol he uses at the end has a ornamental skull and crossbone. It appears to be a Totenkopf.
Oh, nice.
Or a Death's Head design, much like the Nazi SS.
Woof.
Let's see. Oh, the poem is a poem by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Goethe, I believe is how it's pronounced. Entitled Der Erlkönig. Erlkönig is king of the elves, basically. So he's reciting a poem that's about depicting the death of a child assailed by a supernatural being. So when you can't understand him, that's German. So, but he's basically he's high functioning, but still, to a degree, a psychopath.
Yeah.
And he's willing to do this shit to people, like innocent people. It's not just it's like so. And originally, like I said, original plan for this character was that he was going to be Jim Goose. That Jim Goose ultimately survived. But I guess goes crazy. I'm glad they didn't go that route. I prefer Goose succumbing to his wounds in the first movie, so that way basically it's because it's one of the first precipice of pushing Max over the edge.
Wasn't he burnt to a crisp?
Yeah, he's burnt to a crisp. Like I'm saying, like it was obviously changed. I'm imagining when they changed it from this being Jim Goose, they changed
yeah, definitely.
His skin, so it wasn't like burnt or anything like that. But that was the original plan. This is going to be revealed to be Goose from the first movie, but there's little nods in his appearance and what he uses in this movie to Goose. If they kept that, he has how his hair looks or lack thereof on his skull, basically, if he had survived a fire. So in comparison to Toe Cutter, which one do you prefer, Lord Humongous or Toe Cutter, in terms of a villain for the movie?
More personality.
A little bit more personality from Toe Cutter.
This guy was very, very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Not very. I mean, he's a leader of a fucking ragtag, or more than just a ragtag. But this dude's a leader of a bigger group. Yeah, but it's Toe Cutter had more personality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll agree there. I do like Lord Humongous.
I do like him too.
Not as
good as Toe Cutter.
Yeah, but in terms of personality, Toe Cutter has the edge. In terms of presence,
yes,
Lord Humongous. They're kind of to different degrees, like good villains. And I read a bit of trivia that the some of the extras, in this Marauders gang, were kind of embarrassed with their haircuts initially, so that they when they weren't shooting their scenes, they'd put beanies on to kind of hide the fact until they got used to how they looked.
Who told you to put beanies on?
Yes.
I am gravely disappointed.
Let's see if I can get a shot of I'm gonna get a shot of just Wes before Feral Kid throws the boomerang.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, so the one is trying to tell them, kill, just shoot Humongous, kill him. He's standing right here, shoot him.
Shoot the fucker.
Which he could have done if you think about it. He's literally standing up as the targets.
Just out of range of the flamethrowers, though.
Well, the arrows probably could have gotten them.
If those, but those.
Because one has a crossbow. One has a crossbow. He could have got those. Have some speed to them.
Yeah, but are they accurate? I'm talking about the people themselves. I mean, it's
well, they showed they were kind of accurate. At least Warrior Woman was.
Well, yeah, she could have.
Okay.
But you don't interrupt the parlay.
Yeah.
And this is essentially a parlay. Oh, that bastard.
Yeah. Okay, Wes. Let's talk Wes. He's a mad dog. He's a like mad dog character, and he's played like actor's name is Vernon Wells. So, and like I said, according to him, Golden Child, that's the young blonde man on the back of his bike. That's not a lover; it's a surrogate son.
Alrighty.
So, according to him, because according to the trivia, also George Miller did tell most of the actors, come up with your own backstory. So, if we're to believe George like that about George Miller, and we're to believe Vernon Wells, again, they're not lovers. Like, so he's crying over his son essentially being killed right in front of him. But let's like the character Wes, in comparison to the Lord Humongous.
Wes was more than humongous, definitely, because the dude was just fucking nuts. Yeah. I mean, he actually was undermining Humongous because he wanted shit to get done, and Humongous was too diplomatic.
Lord Humongous basically was the way I would look at it. Like Lord Humongous was looking at the picture strategically. He was looking at the big picture, and so he was willing to wait them out. Wes is more yes, he's crazy, but he's more the tactician. Go in, like immediately go in, direct results, pretty much. To the point where not only does Lord Humongous have to put Wes into a sleeper hold, calm him down.
Calm down, my puppy. Calm down.
But also at one point, he actually has Wes in a collar and chain. So basically, when he releases him, it's like he's releasing a mad dog.
Yep, because freaking Wes went after Max later and fucking blew up a shit ton of fuel.
Yeah.
And it's like, you motherfucker. Yeah. Now you're going to learn. Yeah. And he fucking just lashes him right to the freaking front of his vehicle.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And like I said, Trey said, I love, this man knew what the character was and just went with it. He had fun. I'm playing. Yes, Lord Humongous is a psychopath, basically, but Lord Humongous, like I said, is a high-functioning psychopath. This one is just full-on crazy psychopath. This one is just insane. Whether he was insane before the events took place that put this land in this position, or if he became insane as a result of what happened, it doesn't matter. He's insane. So, you just need a steam pipe, yes. So, and like I said, this. Let me see if I can get shots. Oh yeah, the sleeper hold. I love that.
Yeah, it's like,
calm down, my puppy.
He's still my dog of war. He refers, like I said, basically to a degree. Lord Humongous really doesn't see Wes as a human.
No,
he calls him my dog of war, dog, puppy. So it's like he's. And
he doesn't act like a human, at least.
I know. I'm saying it's so basically, what Lord Humongous doesn't really refer look at him as a human, but this is just after Golden Child has been killed by a feral kid, ironic. Yep. And had Quiet Man's had his fingers cut off, pretty much. Wes is wanting to go after them, and Humongous is no, not now. Not now. You have to be calm. To calm him down.
Save your anger.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So, and what we didn't cover basically is the reason why Max brought that wounded man into the compound is because he made a deal with the wounded man that if he got him back to his people, if Max got him back to his people, then Max would get some gasoline. It's the bargain he made was with him, and it died with him. Basically, it's what the leader says, Max, because the man ultimately succumbs to his wounds and dies, but Max is still able to kind of finagle a deal with the people. I saw, he basically points out that ways back, he saw a vehicle that could tow the tanker. They want to get this tanker out of there because there's a land they want to get to, literally the promised land.
Yeah,
they want to
naked
get
ladies on a beach and all that other shit.
Yeah, about 2,000 miles away. But to do so, they need to take the tanker with them, and they can't do it because of the marauders. So Max is there's a vehicle this many miles back. You give me this much gasoline. I leave my car here as collateral, pretty much, because I'll have to come back from my vehicle. Give me those canisters. I'll go filled with gas, enough gas. I could fill the tank up in this truck. I'll get it back to you guys. Yeah, to their place in the light. Yes. We just need Arnold. He can handle Wes. Yeah, pretty much. So they agree. So they're hesitant to trust him at first, but as the captain points out, he'll have to come back for his vehicle. Even if we give him this gas, it's it'd be he can't get anywhere without his vehicle. And it's the V8, and it's the interceptor from the first movie that was saved from destruction from the first movie.
Yeah.
So it is actually at least one the interior shots. Is the interceptor from the first movie. They did have another interceptor for when it gets destroyed. So that interceptor was made specifically for this film to be destroyed. The other one was saved from the first movie, and that's most of the interior shots that we see with Max.
Believe me, folks, if they are going to destroy something in a movie, or a car or something else, they gut it. They are not, or they are actually going to make it look as cool as possible, flashy and all, but they're going to gut it as much as possible.
Yeah.
So if they are getting an interceptor, they are going to show you bare bones of that thing, blow it up from the outside, show it from the outside, and you're going to see it's all cool. Yes, it is, but it's also a fake.
Yeah. I want to play a little bit of this scene because Max is carrying 4 canisters of gas, basically. I'm not sure how many gallons it is. I can't tell from how big the canisters are, but he's carrying 4 like this. And he and his dog come across the gyrocopter pilot. And I love look on the gyrocopter pilot's face because he realizes, oh shit, you're gonna make me carry that, aren't you?
Yep. It's you fucker.
Because Max leaves the pilot chained to this trunk.
Yeah.
He leaves him there to tend to this other wounded guy. Forgets about him essentially. So this man is wandering the desert with this log still. He's handcuffed still to this log. He's trying to get back to his copter.
Yeah.
Hi, Pop. And there's dog. Oh, shit. And it's oh shit.
Oh fuck. Yeah. Those are 1.5 to 2 gallon.
Yeah, so he's carrying 8 gallons worth. So basically,
or maybe wait.
I can't tell. I mean,
those are 4 gallon.
Yeah, so
those are 4 gallon to 5 gallon.
Yeah, I'd say 4 because I have 5 gallon cane and they're a little bit bigger. So I'd say probably I'd say around 4.
Yeah, those are 4 gallon tanks.
Because we have 5 gallon canisters.
Yeah.
And he clicks his tongue. Dog goes after the pilot.
Yeah.
And he's he's making the pilot carry.
Yeah. You know what I missed most of all? Clean women. I love that.
He's fuck it, I'm gonna try to have a conversation with you.
Yeah. It's dude, I ain't much of a talker. Yeah, but you know what I miss the most? Dude, I ain't much of a talker. Clean woman.
Nail polish, perfume.
Yeah.
The smell of bicycle seats, cocktails. He's this most random shit. He's shut up, desserts. He's let's do
that. Shut up, desserts. Shut up. Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to the smell of this scene here. Like I said, the dog actually took a liking to Bruce Spence.
Yeah.
So when Bruce Spence, you can tell because the dog's tail is wagging.
Yeah.
In the scene. So when, the dog is technically supposed to be aggressive to Spence, his tail is wagging, so he's playing because Bruce Spence would get him to play, by grabbing his scarf and things like that, so he would look aggressive in these scenes. Yeah, see, they're playing essentially.
Yeah, that's my fucking snake. Go get your own.
Yes. So, and so basically, kind of we see what like the traps he would lay with the snake. So some hapless guy wanders over to his copter and gets bitten by one of these. Well, nighty night, permanently, essentially. So that's how like this guy, like copter pilot, survives by like kind of as a thief, murderer, almost in a way. But it's a dystopian society, so it's like he needs to survive somehow. And if some hapless person wanders over to his copter, well, that's his security system. Oh well. So he basically hides these snakes in these traps. So if like someone walks over them, the snake bites them.
Yeah.
And
now that snake that they used, folks, obviously was not a poisonous snake, even though Australia is rife with them. They actually used a constrictor snake type.
Yeah. So he's not. So basically, he's not waving around a venomous snake.
Yeah.
So this is. We're like skipping over some parts as soon as I can get this. I can see what the scene is.
Yeah.
This chase was also good. I wish I could play it.
Yeah.
When he gets the truck started, and I love when like the Marauders realize, oh shit, someone got past us.
Yeah.
I like he banned the copter pilot again. He gives him the keys this time. But here, fend for yourself, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh.
So he does give him the key so he can get the handcuffs off. But I love the look on the Marauder's face because they're hearing this big vehicle coming.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit. Someone got past us in the night.
Yeah. It's like, okay, do I just keep going or do I bring it back?
Ultimately, he, like I said, deep down, there's still the Max from the first movie before he became Mad Max.
Yeah.
He does debate not going back, but he ultimately presses the gas and he pushes forward, literally.
Yeah.
So he's trying to be apathetic. He's trying his damnedest to be apathetic. But he just can't. He can't be entirely apathetic. And there's the gyrocopter pilot. I love that he's calling him.
He's like, oh, I'm not done with you yet, you little shit. Gyrocopters,
I love this fight. I love it, like,
yeah.
And there's like the realization when he hears. Because again, it's like because Max had to sneak out in the middle of the night to get past these guys.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. This dude's getting a straight shave, and he just jerks to turn around, and I'm like, how does he not have a fucking gash on the top? Hey,
even if he had, I don't think he would care. He's that insane.
No, yeah, he is that insane.
He is that character is that insane.
Yeah.
So they give chase to Max, and I wish I could show this entire chase because part of this chase, that some of the Marauders do get into the compound. Because what the Enclave uses is a bus with like these metal sides, like metal sheet sides to protect, so like no one can get in.
They can't get shot. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's shot in. And they use a bus to basically block the entrance. And well, as a result of like waiting for Max to get this vehicle into the compound, some of the Marauders get in as well, including Wes to a degree. He gets in, and the line he says like, "You can run, but you can't hide." It's like pointing to Max.
Yeah. Trey, yes. It would have added to the scene. It would have just shown how crazy that fucker is. And I mean, also do the whole thing with the tongue. Would have been fucking perfect.
So,
yeah. Orange, how is he getting shaved with a razor of unknown condition? I don't see any water or cream. Soul Assassin, don't ask questions. This is a movie. You're not supposed to ask questions.
Again,
you're just supposed to like it.
I don't think he cares.
I mean, So, you try getting a luxury like that.
Like I said, I wish I could show this chase.
Yeah.
We're gonna skip over parts basically because Papagallo is wounded, and they're coming up with the plan of how to get this tanker out. of the compound. Like who's going to do what, because they have to get not only the tanker out of the compound, but they have to get everyone else out of the compound as well. So the plan is basically someone has to drive the tanker, and few go with the tanker. A couple will go with the tank. Few go with the tanker, to include Papagallo. We find out, and the rest go like in other vehicles. All right,
Yep.
and Max volunteers. He says, "I'll drive that tanker."
Yeah.
Not so much like he's asking to do it; he's telling them he's going to do it.
I'll drive that tanker for you.
Why?
Yeah. Why?
Why?
You got
Well,
nothing, Max.
For me, it's because Max, because Max has to know the plan pretty much.
Yeah.
And he knows he's the only one who could handle driving the tanker while being chased by the gang.
Yeah. He's not
Even
gonna.
if he tells
He's not gonna
Papagallo-
buckle.
Yeah, in so many words, he's telling Papagallo, "I'm driving that thing. You're not. No one else can do it. I have to be the one to do it."
And if I want to freaking leave you to die, I have it all for myself, and yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Because I love how shocked he is when the twist happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you sons of bitches.
I think he would have known. But part of me thinks that he would have known to a degree, pretty much, because I think that was kind of a suicide mission.
Yeah.
That was a suicide mission. Like I said,
But
he ultimately said he was to do it because he knew he was the only one who could do it. More believable, not wild. Yes, it's a more believable chase. And there's a shot. I'm going to try to see if I can find it. I'm skipping over what happens to his dog.
Yes, because we do not want to see what happens to that dog.
Yeah. Like
Even
I
though
said,
it doesn't
he
show.
says he's going to do it. The feral kid takes a liking to Max, and Max is trying to push him away. It's like he doesn't want to get close to anyone. Oh, I love the scene. Let me see if I can find this part where it's the back and forth with the mechanic. Right here. Where they get them organized. We're moving out tonight. It's like,
oh yeah,
this guy, and like the back and forth, which actually wasn't planned. It
how
just,
long is it gonna
worked.
take?
Like the back and forth was planned, but having the one guy tell the other guy and the other guy shouts was kind of unplanned, but it worked in the scene.
Yeah, that was good. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, what's going on?
Going out tonight. So you know what to do. Just get on with it. So I want to get to the mechanic scene. How's the rig? Yeah, he's asking how's the rig. And he's like, the rig, how is she? Cracked timing case cover. And this guy shouts back.
Yeah. Broken a couple of teeth. Radiator's damage. Radiator's damage.
Got a cracked water pump. Got a cracked water pump.
Got a cracked one.
And a fractured injector line.
And a fractured injector.
What does that all mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, what does that mean?
What does that all mean?
24 hours.
What does that mean? 24 hours. 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got
He was like 24 hours?
Yeah.
He's like 24 hours?
Yeah.
They got 12.
You
got 12.
You got 12. Okay.
Okay.
I just love that. Like, okay. Yeah.
I love that. I love that back and forth. I love that back.
It's like, not. Yeah. Okay.
So like
yeah,
again, like kind of like with the pilot, it adds levity to the scene without it feeling forced.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels natural to the scenario that's happening. Because Papagallo can't get down from like he's wounded, so he's getting tended to, but he needs to know the situation. So he's like that's a little back and forth going on to find out where exactly they stand. And I wish I could show the final chase. YouTube. I'm not playing any sound. But the feral kid wants to go with the Max. Feral kid sneaks onto Max's vehicle. I want to show a shot of a stunt that was awesome to see. But, okay, because Max leaves. He doesn't want any part of this. Then he comes back and says, I'm driving a tanker because of what they did to his vehicle and his dog. Like, I'm driving that tanker.
You killed my dog, you motherfuckers. So I'm driving that tanker.
Yeah. Where is this? There's the shot of this one stunt guy hitting a vehicle, like the one on one of the ones on the motorcycle hitting a vehicle. I don't know exactly where it is. I wish I had like written down the timestamp.
Sealer, duct tape, and how somehow it doesn't run out of gas every 20 seconds. Well, that's the thing. Back then, if you could get some acetylene or propane, which I'm guessing some of these people might have around that area, you could weld some of that shit and yeah, patch job.
Mm-hmm.
Crayons are 30-minute candles. Did you know that, folks?
Well, it's wax.
Yeah.
So
and you get a cool you get a cool color show too, or a colored flame. Yeah.
It's one of the ones on the motorcycle.
Should be a universal law that once a dog or pet is hurt, any rules of mercy goes up.
Yeah.
Dude, that is a law in books and movies and shit. Once you go after the animal, that person dies. You kill a kid, the person dies. Oh, I love that. Yeah. It's like,
yeah, poor warrior woman, she's killed in this shot. She goes out still like a boss.
Yeah. Takes 4 fucking arrows to kill her.
Yeah.
She went Boromir.
This, I think it's like one of these shots here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the stunt. Still a better chase scene than Fury Road.
Definitely. Never saw it, but yeah.
Okay, I don't think I'm gonna find it. I gotta find the timestamp.
Which one, or which were you trying to?
It's the one that cartwheels.
Oh, I think we passed it.
Yeah, I think we passed it too. It's one that cartwheels during the chase.
The stunt where the stunt guy died, according to Soul Assassin.
No, he didn't die. He got a broken leg.
Oof.
As a result, it was a near fatal accident, but because it wasn't supposed to do that. Basically, according to the trivia, basically what he was only supposed to do was just fly over the car without hitting it. However, the bike hits the car, which causes him to cartwheel through the air towards the camera, and landed. So he nearly died, but his leg was broken badly. So that's the stuff I'm talking about. So when you watch this movie and you watch that guy, he didn't die. Came close though, because it ended up being an awesome scene, but it was a stunt gone wrong in the movie. So yeah, so he survived. He ended up surviving. Luckily, it was just a broken leg. Because looking at the impact of that bike on the car, because his legs also impacted on the car as well, and caused the bike to not to flip, which caused him to cartwheel. So, but that's what happened. Like I said, if you watch the movie again, you'll see that's like it looked really bad.
Yeah.
See, so this is the plan, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, the Marauders follow the tanker. The rest of the people in the compound leave via these other vehicles. And we find out at the end, the twist is, those vehicles actually had the gas. Had the fuel. But this scene, I wish I could play the chase scene, because, again, it is awesome.
Got some good explosions.
They explode the
they blew the compound, and it's like, holy shit, man.
There's a little bit of trivia for that as well. Where is it? Where is it? This was the most expensive set ever constructed for an Australian film to date at that point. And it boasted the largest explosion ever created for an Australian film, which destroyed the above set.
I'd say.
When the compound was exploded by the army, airlines were notified and all the mines in the area were closed. George Miller recalled, "I remember the shock waves. They were huge."
You can see some of those shock waves in the camera. Folks, when you see a whiff across the flames and stuff, that's the shock wave. If you're close to the explosions and stuff, kind of like in Terminator 2, where you see that small little wipe after the rig blows under the bridge, that's the shock wave hitting the camera. I love this dude. He puts on a fucking hockey helmet. Goalie
He
helmet.
gets some of the Marauders to chase him.
It's like, okay, so this is the good guy hockey mask, and the other guy is the other hockey mask.
Yeah. Like I said, this is what I pointed out like earlier. Like he's actually being punished by being chained like a dog.
Yeah.
Because of what he did.
Go, my mad dog.
And see, this right here, this shot here, like these are supposed to be the dead members of the enclave that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
Those are actually watermelons.
Yeah. One of them got lit up like a fucking Roman candle.
Yeah. So those are actually basically dummies, like dummies which have like watermelons in them. So when they get smashed, that's the red, basically.
Yeah. Stop.
All right, but anyway, if you guys watch that movie, like that's something they pointed out. The cartwheel stunt was actually stunt gone wrong.
That is such a cool thing to pause on.
Yeah,
such a great shot.
And like I was like, again, like like those who volunteered to be part of this deep down knew it was basically a suicide mission or potentially suicide mission because that the Marauders were going to chase this and not the other vehicles. Like they couldn't give a shit about the other vehicles because they want the fuel.
Yeah.
Well, the twist is, ladies and gentlemen, once it's all said and done, once Max nearly dies, also has to save the feral kid twice. This.
Yeah. It's like, you sons of bitches, you switched it out on us.
Yeah. And when the surviving Marauders realize that, they just turn around and leave.
It's like, at that
point, the rest of the compound members are like clears away because that's a long chase.
And not only that, they also pick up Bruce Spence because he survived his fucking crash.
Yeah. And he becomes the leader of the group because Papagallo dies in this chase, as well as Warrior Woman, the mechanic, and the other dude that was on the tanker. So they all die. Max survives, and the feral kid survives. Then we find out the narrator at the beginning of the movie and at the end is the feral kid.
Yeah. I have so many questions. This kid, when he was in the show and the movie, when Max is showing him the little turn music thingy, because and it's like, this kid cannot talk. And yet he's talking like a fucking wise old man years and years and years down the road.
Well, I figure he's young enough that once they got to essentially paradise, actual civilization, he could learn.
Yeah,
he could learn. And he became the leader following after the gyrocopter pilot and things like that. So he ultimately led these people. So like I said, when he's narrating this, especially at the end of the movie, and then you take that theory that he's the Max character in Fury Road, I'm like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Given what the impression you're given at the end of this movie, and that he's basically settled down. He's not traveling the wasteland. Yeah, it's became somewhat peaceful, basically. It's like, why would he leave? It's short of calling it a utopia, because we don't see it pretty much, but at least some semblance of civilization, some peace, where they don't have to deal with these gangs during the night. So why? So people who had that theory that that's the feral kid in Mad Max Fury Road, it makes absolutely no sense, because it would be a complete turnaround to how he's portrayed in the narration at the end of this movie. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the film, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, there was the third movie
Beyond Thunderdome.
Hold on.
Doesn't that have like Tina Turner?
Yeah. Basically, this was supposed to be the end film. Basically, the last we see of Max. It's supposed to be the conclusion. George Miller had planned to make a post-apocalyptic Lord of the Flies film. However, his fate was sealed when he suggested that Max be the adult who finds the children. Because if you read Lord of the Flies, you ultimately know the end of the book, and like basically that's when Max would show up. Well, that became Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. So it should have been just a post-apocalyptic Lord of the Flies became Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah.
So, and we get Tina Turner. But that's it. That's it. This is supposed to be the conclusion, but we got a third one, and that is like the end. We see. I love this shot. We just go back a little bit. It's the feral kid is like watching behind the vehicle, and that's like the last we see of the Road Warrior.
That shot there hit me in a personal level because, I have a memory of my aunt as we're driving home after visiting our grandfather and aunts, and she came out to wave, and it was all bye and whatnot. I mean, I saw her years later, or I saw her again the next year and stuff, but it's that kind of shot is just very personal to me. It's a great cinematic shot.
Yeah. Like I said, it's supposed to be the last of what we see.
Yeah. And the Road Warrior, well, he was lost to time. Never saw him again.
Yeah.
Could be dead for all I know.
This is supposed to be the conclusion. Basically, we kind of like leave Max here, and it's up to the audience at that point to say, hey, where does Max go from here? Like, like leave it open like that.
Yeah.
But we got Thunderdome at the end. So, yeah. Anyway, like I said, I do like the reveal that the feral kid is the one that we hear at the beginning of the film and at the end of the film, that he actually learned how to talk. He actually became civilized, and he became a leader.
That was a good touch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a twist, but it's a good twist, and it's a good touch. Yeah, I liked it. Like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. They always do shit like that nowadays.
Yeah, but this one made sense. Like you could you could see the plausibility in it. It made sense.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, so like an actual twist that subverting the expectations that actually makes sense.
Yep.
But there it is, Chad. That is Mad Max 2. I'm calling it Mad Max 2. Road Warrior does work, but it's Mad Max 2. It was given the Road Warrior title because the distributors were like, oh shit, we can't call it Mad Max 2 because we never fucking released it worldwide. Or not worldwide, but statewide.
We never released it globally.
Yeah, well, I mean, statewide, like in the States, basically. It was like very limited release. It's like, well, fuck, we can't call it Mad Max 2 because people will be like wondering where the fuck the first one was.
Yep.
So it's Mad Max 2.
Yeah.
But
Mad Max 2.
Yes, but there it is, chat. Mad Max Road Warrior. So, like I said at the beginning of the movie, I give the edge to Mad Max 2 just because of it fully embraces the post-apocalyptic world, the dystopian feel. It just gets that edge because of that. Because I really appreciate movies that have their own interpretations of what the civilization would look like once it's fallen. But I do love both. I do love both the first movie and the second one. Yeah. Both work. Both are good. But yeah, so again, chat, thank you for hanging out with us for the 1s and 2s. Tomorrow I will be on Orange Chat's stream, and he can go into the details for that, talking the last voyage of the Demeter, which we will go into. I've said that overall I enjoy the movie. I do have a couple major issues.
Yes.
With it.
And we will discuss those major issues, folks.
Yes.
Believe me. But yes, until then, evil is on board, and I wish you all happy survival in the next 24 hours, because you never know when some hungry, cranky old bastard's going to come munching on you.
But there it is. But anyway, let everybody know where they can find you. Obviously, like, for tomorrow's stream and everything else moving forward.
Tomorrow, X exclusively 8:30. My profile, Orange Hat 2185. For Last Voyage. Friday, Orange Hat Uncensored on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to reach 2,000 subs, folks. If I can get to 2,000 subs before the end of the year, awesome. I finally fucking broke 1550, so I just need to keep that momentum going. Any help, that is the best way to do it. Sub and like and views. That's all I really am asking for. Sunday is the weekly recap with me and Ambassadorial Wing. My normal co-host is going to be busy. Monday is Monday Night Rants at 9 p.m. My channel and on X. Also, Tuesday is Theme Stream, which is going to be paranormal horror for horror thoughts. And I'll give you guys the August theme next Tuesday. Tuesday night is the Barroom Podcast on Society of Reviews channel. And me and Mara are going to have to come up with ones and twos for August and singles for August. Yeah.
And I'll think about it this week because there's an extra Wednesday this week, so there's an extra few days. So I will let you know what I come up with for August. And then you'll let me know about the ones and twos. Not the singles. I'll let you know about the ones and twos.
Yeah,
I cannot think now. Small whammon brain. But there it is. We talked
go to bed.
Mad Max and Mad Max 2. So thank you all. You can find me on Orange Hat stream tomorrow. Friday and Saturday are going to be up in the air of when I stream because that all depends on when I see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Depending on what day I see it will determine if I stream or not. Might do a watch party instead one of those evenings instead of streaming. But we'll see. Anyway, take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world. And we will see you all tomorrow. Peace.
Stay humble.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.